fellow Movie Crusaders, and welcome to my latest episode. My name's Sean Wasserkrug, and today we're reviewing one of the films that came out in theaters a couple weeks back, The Menu. Now, it's been a little hard for me with holiday season and stuff to basically, get on here to shoot these videos with work and everything, but they're going to kind of come in droves. I get the time to watch the movies, but not enough time to hop on and do said reviews for you, so they're going to kind of come, like I said, in waves. But the first one is going to be The Menu. This is a movie that I, for the most part, avoided trailers for because this is a movie that a lot of people said it's best to go in with no knowledge or not know anything about the film. But I have been hearing great things about this movie and kind of try to avoid everything else. Obviously, in terms of cast, you got, Ralph Fiennes, you got Anya Taylor-Joy, you got Nicholas Hoult. So 3 actors right there that I actually really love. And, of course, John Leguizamo, who's one of my most underrated actors in Hollywood, who I just love. So in terms of cast, I was locked in from the get-go. Now, in terms of the plot, the main plot for The Menu is a young couple travels to a remote island to eat at an exclusive restaurant where the chef has prepared a lavish menu with some shocking surprises. What works mostly for The Menu is definitely its aesthetics. It looks visually amazing. Just the way it's shot, the way it's the cinematography is for the film overall, the way all the characters look, you definitely feel like this is a very lavish concept with them, basically getting on a boat and flying to an island, then kind of getting a tour of the island and how they cook and how they, prepare all the food to the actual, restaurant itself, to being able to watch the cooks cook and everything. And then even when you get to the actual point where they actually start, showing you the meals. I mean, me personally, I'm not a huge big cooking show person outside of anything that's not Gordon Ramsay, which I know he's all over the place. So for me, like, the aesthetic of, like, talking about how the food is made and stuff like that is okay, but not something that's incredibly, detailed for me, or something that I personally, like, think is, amazing, film. But it's this awe of kind of uneasiness, because something is going to happen. Something is, in the mix. We just don't quite know what. Every character seems to have something that they're hiding, or something that is kind of they're like holding, with arm's length, and we don't really know that from the start. It's just, except for maybe, Anya Taylor-Joy's character, Margot, who basically is kind of a fish out of water. She's being brought in from, with Tyler, played by Nicholas Hoult. She's kind of doesn't know anything about this chef. She doesn't know anything about this whole ordeal, where this is like a dream come true for the Tyler character. And then you're just kind of meeting these other characters in the restaurant, going in and out of their conversations and stuff like that. When we do start to get kind of about halfway through the film, we start to kind of unravel the mystery, or where this film is going to go and the dark path that it's going to take. A lot of this is obviously, led by Ralph Fiennes' chef, Slowick, which, anyone who knows Ralph Fiennes, he's Voldemort. He's got so many other fantastic roles where he plays this stoic, mysterious character that's usually a bad guy, because he plays a great bad guy. And kind of just watching this character, who basically looks like stone, start to kind of break his character mold, and you start to see a little more personality from him all the way through, mainly towards Anya's Margot character, and then you start to see kind of where the craziness ensues for this film. While a lot of that works, the problem with The Menu for me is more the execution, or the why, or why we're doing this, or how we are going about doing this. The mystery aesthetic is there. Visually, it looks great. The performances are all sound. There's no real bad performances in the film. It's mostly how we're getting from A to B to Z, and why we're doing it. The story structure is kind of frustrating, because I feel like there's a lot that's being unsaid. There's a lot of situations that maybe needed a little more explanation, or a little more backstory to. There's certain characters that are being handled in a way that maybe we don't quite understand or know what they're doing, or maybe what they did do doesn't warrant what's going on in the film for said characters, especially one particular character. I'm going to say her name is Felicity. Her character, just kind of like Margot, I don't see anything wrong with her character, so she's just kind of in a wrong place at a wrong time, but chef says she's there for a reason. The only person that's not there for a reason is the Margot character. And it's kind of frustrating at points because you have all these characters and they all just kind of like you get the moment where they realize that they're in danger or something's wrong and they try to fight back but they really don't. And it's kind of frustrating at points because it's kind of like they just are cool with whatever the fuck happens, which they're not because their performances are showing that they're not. But by the end of the film, they just kind of accept their fate, and I kind of felt like that was really frustrating, almost idiotic to me. And I know that's the way the story was written, and that's cool. That's the director's drive. That's what he wanted to do with the film. But for me, it did not work. There's a lot of characters here that could have done something, that could have fought back in a way, and they just kind of accepted it. And that was the part that kind of rubbed me the wrong way about the film overall. I think the thought and the idea there is very sound, and it was executed, well to a point. But to me, it was the story, the who, what, then, where, why of it all, and then just the actual outcome of it all that really failed for me. Like, I realize I'm looking at something very beautiful, and it looks very great, kind of like a beautiful cake, for instance. But then once I cut into the cake and ate some of it, it ended up just being very dry and didn't taste that very well. I know my language was very crappy right there, but I was trying to sound super smart and it ended up working out that way. For me, the menu looks fantastic, acted very well throughout, but for me, the internal filling of what makes a movie great just did not work for me overall. For me, I'm going to give the menu I believe my score was a 51% for the menu. Visually looked great. The story itself didn't quite work for me overall. So in terms of recommendations, I would not recommend it. But if you're a fan of Ralph Fiennes, Nicholas Hoult, Anya Taylor-Joy, I mean, you're probably going to check this out anyway. But if you're not fans of them and you're intrigued by the trailer of the film, it is best going in without knowing much, because that mystery of it all is what makes it work overall for you. But ultimately, by the end of the day, this kind of felt like a disappointment for me. I expected more based off of word of mouth and did not meet my expectations. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you guys did, go and hit that like, share, and subscribe button to the channel so you guys stay up to date with all the latest videos pop up on the Movie Crusaders. And of course, we're going to follow us on all the social media outlets you see below. Coming up next, like I said, we got lots of reviews coming. We've got Spirited, Disenchanted, Slumberland, Christmas with You, The People We Hate at the Wedding. Obviously, it's Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving to everyone. And there's a lot more movies coming out over the next 7 days. So when I get to see them, based off of my work schedule, there will be reviews out. So we got a ton of videos coming, as well as Brian, Mike, and myself will be coming back to do a Marvel look back, where we're going to go through each phase of the MCU and talk about our favorite moments, our favorite performances, and ultimately our ultimate rankings for each phase. So we got plenty of videos coming here in the next 2 months, so be on the lookout for all that. And until next time, in case I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Movie Crusaders.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.